Hello, all you beautiful people. This is Optimistically Depressed, and I am your host, Ruth McMullen. Thanks so much for joining me, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope that this time of the year is very enjoyable for you anyway. I am tired. We have not done our Christmas shopping yet, and that's okay. It's just been a little bit of a different year, and we're adjusting. I'm not very stressed about it. I think a big reason is because there are so many other things going on that are just kind of they have my attention right now. It's been a bit of an unusual last 2 weeks, and it's brought some challenges that I haven't quite encountered before. So it was a lot of learning on my part, and it was painful. And I'm here now. I'm on the other side pretty much, and now I'm just really, really tired at the end of it. So I'm looking forward to having a relaxing day. It's Sunday. We're late putting out this podcast, and I'm sorry. It was just kind of a result of everything that's been going on. So we're here though, and I've just got to say that when some challenging times have made their way around, one thing that I am very thankful for is my friends and my family and people that really just love me and want the best for me. And I'm just realizing their value more and more as I encounter new challenges. So, and I also just want to give a shout out to Mark, who's my new producer. He's been huge already, huge help with a lot of things. So thanks, Mark. And of course to Sean, who just stands by me through everything. And I'm just very, very thankful for you. So I got to have Tom on again. Some of you may remember listening to Tom before. He was on a little while ago, and I got to sit down with him again, and we had some really great conversations. It was something that I didn't really have anything specific in mind that I was hoping the conversation, I wasn't really hoping it would go any particular way. And he was the same. We ended up just kind of sitting down and talking about whatever, and it was a really good conversation. It was in the middle of a lot of stuff that was going on, so just with personal life and professional life and just everything. And it was nice to sit down with someone who's very calm, and we actually talked a little bit about resilience, which I'm more and more fascinated with that concept, because I've just found it to be so confusing when I first kind of encountered it, and I still am trying to figure out what exactly it means. But we talk a little bit about that, and it's I just found it to be really refreshing and encouraging. And Tom is the kind of person that he has a very calming presence, and I really enjoy just being around him. He's really nice to talk to, because he has he has that kind of sureness about him that you're just kind of you know what? Tom's around, everything's going to be okay. He's just that kind of person. And he's kind of becoming more and more of a dear friend, actually, I would say. We've had a few back and forth, a little bit of back and forth in the past, just over a couple other things that I was encountering and not really sure how to deal with. And he was just he stepped forward and just really helped me through some kind of tricky things, and really helped me to feel like things were okay, and kind of taken care of. And he's just that kind of person. So I really like Tom. I'm quite fond of him, and I'm excited to be able to share with all of you the conversation that he and I got to have. So here's Tom, and have a great week. I'll be talking with you again soon. So it's been a while since we've done a podcast.
Indeed. Spring, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I? And I think I told you this, but after we did that podcast and Sean was listening to it, he was just like, that man's voice.
Smooth caramel.
Smooth. Yeah. See, that's, yeah. Okay. I told you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We were talking
I think he
about
told me too, actually.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Shameless. We were shamelessly like, just like, I know, right? No, listen to it again. Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh, like,
am I making you feel uncomfortable?
A little bit, but like, I don't know. I know I have a deep voice, and I think sometimes it's deeper than I want it to be, and sometimes it can be high, like. Right?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
there it is. Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. So, what's been going on since spring?
Work. A lot of work. Did a bunch of hiking this summer. Not near enough.
I have a question.
Oh.
You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, because could be a point of discussion for both of us.
Sure.
And maybe it's something that you've been wondering about yourself.
Okay.
Because lately I think that a lot of us have been hearing the word resilience being thrown around quite a bit. And it has made me start to really wonder what that means. And I would be interested to know if you have any thoughts on it.
Well, resilience. That's a tough one. Jeez,
Right?
now you're hitting me with all the hard ones.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's all right.
Because I legitimately wonder, like, what does that actually mean when a person like says, like, I mean, okay, a person says you're resilient, like, so okay, that means
I've been through some shit.
I would think so, and that you survived it, and that you are stronger for it.
Oh, I agree with that 1,000 billion majillion %. I think that all the shit that we go through, all the bad days, are like probably the best things that have ever happened in our lives in the long run.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. No, I mean, think about it. Like, do you remember your 12th birthday?
No.
Probably a good day though, right? If you figure, like reasonably thinking.
I'm sure that, it's funny. Like 2 episodes ago, I talked about how I didn't like my birthday.
Oh shit, never mind then. Christmas. Your 12-year-old Ruth.
I'm sure.
Christmas.
Christmas. I like Christmas.
Probably pretty good day though.
Yeah, that would have been a good day.
12th Christmas?
Yep.
Tell me about it.
Okay.
You remember?
No.
All right. Ever broken a bone?
Yes.
You remember it?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
I was swimming.
Yeah.
We were at some rapids.
Right.
See, this is like starting off so cool, right?
Yeah.
It's not cool at all. I was slipping down a rock to get into the rapids, and my toe hit like a little like dent in the like a little lip in the rock, and it bent.
Oh shit.
And apparently that was too much for it, and it broke.
And you remember the pain?
Oh, I do. I kept swimming, and I went into the rapids with it because I was like, I'm not letting this ruin this. And then but I couldn't use that foot. I couldn't. I could only swim with my other 3 limbs.
Yeah. And you bet the pain, because your toes are very sensitive, but you felt the pain right here in your chest, right?
Yeah.
Specifically, you remember that?
I do.
Right.
What the heck?
For those of you who can't see, because there's no camera, I'm pointing to my chest.
He's pointing to his chest. It's kind of near his heart.
Yeah, very near my heart. So you were able to describe that in pretty deep detail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because your body is reacting to something that's traumatic to it. Right. And that's a physical trauma where you broke a bone and there was pain and your body doesn't want to feel that pain. So it like, this is my belief. I'm not a scientist.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I like the claim. Not a professional, but this is based off of our
doctor. I don't know why you even have me on here. Shit. Anyways, it's experiencing trauma, and what your body does when it's experienced trauma, both in my mind, from a physiological standpoint as well as a psychological standpoint, is it doesn't want to experience that trauma again, right? So when you break a bone, when it heals, you actually have like calcium deposits, and it's a stronger bone. That's why boxers have these huge, hard fists from repeated trauma, right? And when you work with your hands, like say in a field, you get these calluses on your hands, like under your knuckles, and that's from repeated trauma. Well, your mind is the same thing. It doesn't want to experience that pain, so it internalizes it, and it like builds up these walls of protection, very similar to a scar or a callus or calcium deposits on your bone, and you become stronger. Because of it, you become more battle tested. You become more, in your words, or whatever words these come from, resilient.
Oh!
That's my thought. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a scientist. Hashtag not a scientist.
Hashtag not a scientist. Not a doctor.
No. Yeah.
I like that.
You like that? Yeah, that's how I think about that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
I think with each conversation I have about resilience, the answers seem to either the answers are actually improving that people give me, or maybe I have a deep enough understanding of it that I then am able to absorb what they're saying a little bit more effectively, and then I'm just that makes so much sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I guess, I don't know. Is that like a new catchphrase? Is that like snowflake or boomer? Okay, boomer. Is that like a thing? No?
Okay,
resilience?
boomer.
Yeah.
Wait, what's okay boomer?
You haven't heard of okay boomer? Old people, don't get upset. I love all of you. But I think it's like, I don't know, millennials sometimes, I guess, when boomers, like baby boomers, say, give them advice, you're like, okay, boomer.
Really?
Yeah, and apparently the boomers don't like it, but I don't know why they wouldn't. They seem to have done everything to earn that title. But I love you all, even the millennials and the what are the people called after them? Zennials, Gen Z,
Generation X and then Generation Z, or is
X was the 90s. Anyways, whatever. It's like a generational thing. Boomers seem to not like millennials for it, and millennials, for whatever reason, don't seem to like boomers. I love everybody. I don't know. Treating people with kindness has been like the greatest thing I've ever learned. And like everybody, right? Regardless of what they're doing to me, like we give words too much power, right? Someone says, fuck you. What does fuck you actually even mean? It's just words that were invented by some person that decided that this is the English dictionary and we're going to use this slang and it's going to be derogatory, but it's just a word, right? So what is it to me? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay. I like that you brought this up.
Okay.
I think that this could be an interesting pocket of conversation.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Because for me, it's kind of like what I get caught up in is the intention that the person had behind it, you know? So it's like they said that because they wanted to hurt me.
Yeah. Why?
Why do they want to hurt me?
Why?
And then it's like,
what are they hurting from that they need to hurt you to make themselves feel better? What trauma have they experienced? What sadness have they experienced that have caused them to act this way, to want to hurt somebody else for their own betterment?
Yeah. And I think that one thing that I know personally I'll get caught up on is more a selfish point of view. It's like, what did I do to deserve that? Right. But it's not you. It isn't. And I think that, it's like, it's not even really about me.
No, think about all the things that affect your behavior. You didn't get enough sleep. You missed a meal. You got a bill that you weren't expecting. Kids kept you up all night, whatever it is. And you wake up, right? Yeah. And you wake up and then you have a negative interaction with somebody because you're already on edge and they think that, oh, fuck, this person's just trying to, like, they're mean. I don't like them. Right? Yeah. And then that is actually going to fuel their next interaction. And that's going to fuel the next person's interaction that they have. And it's going to be an exponential effect. So if we let these behaviors that are put on us affect us negatively, we're just going to perpetuate the issue, right? Yeah. It's harder. It's way easier said than done. Like, I'm not that good at it, but I try really hard.
Yeah. I think it is like the idea that we need to get over ourselves a little bit.
Yeah. A little bit. Like, but it's also natural to like be hurt by things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, especially when you have like, you know, say like anxiety and you're like definitely overthinking everything and your mind's racing. You're like, why the fuck would they do that to me? What did I do to them? Like, all this shit. Yeah. Or depression, you're like self-loathing on a lot of things. And you're like, yeah, I fucking deserve to be treated that way. Or whatever it is. So like we play into our own head.
Yeah. I've been told a few times recently that I think too much.
That's a good thing and a bad thing, though. Right?
I know, because some of it, I'm just like, but when I think a lot, sometimes some really good stuff comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like when you're most creative. Yeah, yeah. You're like, oh shit, right? Yeah. Yeah. Does it keep you up at night though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's when it's.
That's not when it's, yeah. It's
I mean, like sometimes like you might have a great idea at 3:00 in the morning, and as long as you can like pull your ass out of bed to write it down so you don't forget about it the next day. Yeah. That's awesome.
Then
but
you're,
Also, you need to sleep.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Yeah. But I think so, like sometimes, and this is something, so this is the context that it has, I think, been said to me. It's when like someone gives me like a really kind compliment, mm-hmm. and I'm wanting to respond in a way that can like properly communicate how meaningful that is mm-hmm. to me. And then the person will be like, just enjoy this.
Yeah.
Like, don't feel the need to think about this. Like, don't think about it. Because another thing that I'll do is I'll go through it and like try to determine whether or not I actually have earned that compliment. Right.
I do the same thing. You know what they call that?
What do they call that?
Imposter syndrome.
Oh.
Like, oh no, they think I'm better than I actually am.
Yeah.
What if other people think that just because this person thinks that, then one day somebody's gonna realize this person doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yes.
Yeah, I have that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it right now. Like not in this room, but like in my job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I feel like they're gonna be like, "You're a fraud. How you been doing this for 10 years?"
It's like, well, I've done it for 10 years.
Yeah,
give me a break here.
Yeah,
but no, yeah.
Yeah. Like, everything that I've done, and like I always second guess it, like always. And I'm like, if I actually press send or enter or I submit this report, somebody's gonna read it and they're gonna be like, "This guy's a fucking idiot. What are we paying him for?" Honestly. And then it comes back and like, "Oh, thanks, I really like this." I'm like, "Are you sure?"
Like, are you just lying to me? Are you trying to make me feel good?
Yeah. It's like you sending an email to somebody else saying this guy's an idiot right now.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I've been yeah, so I do that. I'm just like, have I earned this compliment?
Yeah.
And then some people have been able to like see what I'm doing, because usually like it's like the people who like stare deep into my eyes and they're like, I can see what you're doing right now. Yeah. And they're like, just stop.
Just take it.
Just take it. Just enjoy this moment.
Yeah.
You think too much. And then that's when they say that. And I'm just like, I don't think too much. And then I think about that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's the key.
So that's
the sign.
I mean, we do think a little bit too much. But I'd rather think too much than not think enough.
Oh, that's also true. Yeah. No, I think that's super. I think there's definitely a balance. Like you don't want to be up all night thinking about shit.
Yeah.
And you don't want to like let that like run your life like to the point where you can't just make a spur of the moment decision without thinking about it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Spontaneity.
'Cause that's awesome. Those are some of the best things. You do like, oh man, it's like out of the blue, I want to go do this. Whatever.
You know what? Whatever. Yeah. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
I kind of suck at that too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I used to be really good at it. And then when my anxiety got worse, that's when it was just like, wait, you want me to what? Like, but I was supposed to be home and do nothing today.
Right. Yeah. I had a whole agenda of self-loathing and bullshit.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean? How could I possibly? No, I can't go for coffee now. I don't have that planned.
That's between my 10:15 and 10:30 fucking sulk sessions.
Yeah, that was me today.
I had planned on crying into my pillow for this time. Thank you very much. Don't try and bring me out of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was absolutely me today, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Well, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. It is funny.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was sitting on my couch and I was starting to journal. And then I was like, oh, gotta tap into this now. Because another thing is like, so like, it's like I've had like a bit of a sensory overload. So then it was kind of like I just shut everything off. I don't feel anything.
Right.
And then it's kind of like, all right, I have to go in and feel things now.
Oh, all the feels.
All the feels.
That's so hard, especially like when you're writing it out.
Yeah, it's just, the other thing that's really annoying is that like I'm writing it out and I'm thinking like, I know this is not actually true, or I know this is not actually how I feel, but it's how I feel right now.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I'm just going to like feel so sorry for myself. I'm going to hate everything right now. And I'm doing, there's tears streaming down my face and my eyes are all starting to get puffy. And then like your throat gets a little dry and you're just like, but I can't get up and do anything about this because I'm just so sad right now.
Right. The thought of getting up is almost
just,
worse than
it's
the
like
feeling.
unbearable.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I had to like, basically the way I got myself off the couch was by thinking, okay, ultimately, like so in like 2 hours, I'm going to have to get the kids from the bus.
Yes.
So then I was like, okay, so I have to, and you know, I was being somewhat productive. I was like responding to emails and making arrangements for winter tires and all that garbage.
That's important.
It is very
Being as we've
call it
already
garbage.
had some snow.
Yes, it's been a little hindrance in some travel plans.
That.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I did some of that stuff. The emails, I was not referring to responding to emails as garbage. That was not garbage.
No, of course not. All you were very important people that you responded to, I promise.
Thank you. That was the disclaimer that I needed to do.
Yeah.
But it was, so then I was just kind of like, okay, Ruth, you know what you're going to do? You're going to go into the kitchen and you're going to steam yourself some eggnog. And that is going to be great.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah.
Never had steamed eggnog.
Oh, for goodness sake. You have to experience
shut the front door.
shut that front door. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
And if you put a little swig of rum in it,
Oh,
adds a
that's
little
now
bit of,
you're speaking my language. There you go. Yeah.
yeah, then it can just be just a little warmer.
Yeah,
you know?
I believe that.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
So that was your getting my ass off the couch.
Yeah.
And it worked?
It worked.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
I did it. And then my mom called,
Good.
and it was actually a really nice conversation.
Nice.
I say that like I'm surprised, but it's but no, it was a nice conversation, and she did some encouraging,
Good.
and then gave me advice that I was like, stop giving me advice. I'm not ready for advice right now. So then that was like, stop it. But then she could pick up on it in the tone of my voice.
That's
it was
good.
like, yeah, I was just like, uh-huh. And then she's like, so anyway, changed the subject. It was good. But yeah, and then I started doing stuff.
Venturing out into the world.
Venturing out into the world.
The first step's always the hardest.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yes.
Especially when you're in that kind of like mood. Mm-hmm. Like I could sit on the couch and just stare at the ceiling forever and be like, I have all this shit to do, but like, fuck, I don't want to move.
Yeah.
I just want to sit here and self-loathe. Yeah,
And self-loathe for a little bit. And then eventually find myself so deep in it that I can't ever get out.
And it perpetuates too, because then
Yeah.
you're like, fuck, I've been here for like an hour.
Yeah.
Or I've been here for 2 hours, or however long it's been. You're like, oh, what a waste. Yeah. And then you're like, I want to dwell on that for like another hour. Yeah. Let me think on that.
Yeah. Let me think on that. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a little tricky. Today was a tricky one.
But once you get through the first step, I think everything just kind of, for the most part, not all the time. Like sometimes you just got to like literally drag your ass through the entire day. And like every step is like it's like you're dragging around like bricks in your feet or whatever. But like for the most part, I find once you get that first step in, it's like everything starts to fall into place. Like
that's usually the case.
Yeah.
Today I was expecting that to be the case, but then it was like I started things, got some things done, got the kids and everything, and then came back home, and then it was like, oh. And I just kind of, I've been having some serious parent guilt.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's been bad.
Like not spend enough time with the kids, or like...
No, I think I spend quite a bit of time with the kids. I don't think I feel guilt over that. I think I feel guilt over being a bad parent. I know.
Yourself.
I know. And that was another thing that I was feeling quite sorry for myself over today. Yeah.
Well, you're always going to be your own worst critic, right? Like
Yeah.
You already said you overthink things.
It's
so
true.
like you're picking apart your parents, and your kids are probably like, oh my fuck, you're the best mom ever. And you're like, oh, but I didn't fold your sheets the right way. And I'm like, we don't give a shit.
We don't give
We're
a
gonna tear it apart anyways, Ma.
It's true. Oh my gosh. The kids have been like, and now my kids like do a thing where they just like randomly come up and tell me that they love me.
Oh.
And I'm just
There you
like,
go.
right? And it makes everything in me melt. And I'm like, this is the best. And then I'm like, but I'm failing you. Like, you don't even know it yet.
Yeah, no, they don't. They don't. And you're not. Like, you made that shit up in your head.
Yeah.
It's imposter syndrome.
It's imposter syndrome. Okay, but here's the other thing, Tom. I feel like this is just it's funny. I'm becoming more aware of habits that I have.
Right.
And like the unhealthy habits that I have.
Right.
And I'm starting to notice how I've already started to pass some of those habits on to my children. And so then I see it happening with them.
Right.
And now I'm trying to, while I'm working on correcting it in myself,
right.
I'm trying to also help correct it in my children before it becomes,
a habit for them.
right.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm like, well, I obviously am a horrible parent because I've passed on these horrible tendencies of mine.
I'm sure
right?
they can't be that horrible. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't need to know what they are, but
I'm sure they're not that bad.
yeah, but I think if you recognize like this is something that you consider to be, I'm air quoting, horrible, because I don't know what it is, and you see that manifesting itself in your children, that's motivation for you to stop that probably, and probably more than you would if it was just something that was on you and you didn't need to worry about anybody else.
Yeah.
And if you correct that habit that you don't like yourself, then children are like little sponges. They're going to pick up on that and they're just going to correct it themselves too. Like that's
what kids do.
That's what they do. They mimic the thing. We're a product of our environment.
Yeah,
I said that earlier. You are a product. If you grow up in a household with smokers, let's say, you're like however many times more likely to be a smoker. If you grow up in a religious household, you're however many times more likely to be religious as an adult. If you grow up eating chicken wings, not chicken wings. I know a dude that's like 40 years old and every damn meal he has is chicken fingers and ketchup. Like on my life, because that's what he ate when he was growing up. And he has like a little can of pineapple juice and he puts like 2 sugar packets in. He's like 40 years old. It's all he can eat. Because that's what he got fed when he's a kid.
Oh my gosh.
Here, let me cook you this nice steak. It's a outside skirt, cooked rare. It's beautiful. Here you go. No.
No,
I want chicken fingers out of the box with ketchup.
With why not plum sauce?
Right? Something. Pineapple juice with sugar packets. Oh my gosh. It's childish. We're a product of our environment. Like what I'm saying. Like,
driving home that point.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna, today I had to actually make, so I did have some, I think, healthy self-reflection, and I wasn't necessarily, I think that I was successfully not beating myself up, but recognizing where my strengths weren't. And so I messaged Sean, and I was like, okay, Sean, in this one area with one of our kids, I don't think that I'm actually doing any good. And I currently am just not really sure how to deal with it. But I've seen you dealing with it. And I know that the way you're dealing with it is better than the way I'm dealing with it. So I think maybe you're going to have to take the lead on this for a while so that I can observe you and then start dealing with this the proper way, or in a more healthy way. And so I did that. And I was like, look at me, I'm growing, recognizing that, I'm not going to be great at everything. But then later, like a couple hours later, I all of a sudden was like, like I suck, because I know, but it's just like the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, because then you're just like, well, like, because he was honest about it. He didn't say, yeah, you really do suck at that or anything like that. He was just like,
suck, Ruth.
he's like, yeah, oh my gosh. Like, I'm so glad that you can finally hand the reins over to me because you've been doing a terrible job at this.
Horrible.
But he wasn't like, oh no, you're doing great. He was just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of like having two parents, whether you're in the same household or not. Like you're gonna have certain things that you're really fucking awesome at, and he's gonna have things that he's really awesome at, and you're both gonna have things that you're not that great at. Because you know what? You're not perfect. Nobody is. Nobody's right. Nobody's parents are perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody's flawed. We all get screwed up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Doesn't mean you don't strive to be better, but like play off each other's strengths.
Yeah.
You know, you got your little bus, and you know, you just can't have everybody sitting on the bus. They got to be sitting in the right seats. So if the seat, right? You like that
I like that. Yeah.
I stole that one.
I know. I've heard it before.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah. You know, if he's good at this thing, then he should, you know, take the reins on that more. Doesn't mean you can't like learn from him, and you know, you're watching him, and you're going to develop your own way of dealing with it. You know, similar or maybe it's completely different, but you like see how the reactions that he gets works, and you build your own kind of skill set and you go with it. And he learns from you, and your kids learn from both of you, and you learn from your kids, and it's this big just effect, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I think.
Yeah. I like that. I think you're right. I'm just figuring out where my seat on the bus is, I think.
Wherever you want it to be.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
There's that ego coming in. Driver's seat.
That's right. There you go. Driving the bus.
I'm gonna drive the bus
Yeah, well,
right
are
into
you one
a
of those
wall.
people where it wouldn't matter where you were sitting? You would want to be driving. You'd be telling the driver how to drive the bus. Yes.
Yes, and it's awful because I've always prided myself on not being that person,
Yeah.
and I am. It's true. Yeah, it's true. I'm a little bus driver.
You're a little, the short bus.
It was the short bus. I want it to be the long bus.
Sure.
We're getting there.
You'll get there. You'll
I'll get
graduate.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you build resilience? Back to the resilience.
Oh
thing.
yeah, back to the resilience. How do you build resilience?
Yeah. Do you think that it's something that you can build yourself, or do you think that it's something that that you can sit down and be like, I'm going to build my resilience right now?
No.
It's something that as each situation approaches, you're like, okay, I'm building my resilience right now in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, every situation I think has outcomes, and some of those outcomes are, you know, you can, even though they're all going to be probably shitty at the moment. There's a positive way of dealing with those outcomes in a negative way. Like, you know, if you're in a bad situation, you're like, fuck this, I fucking quit. Fuck everybody, or whatever. You know what I mean? And you like, you just like go crawl in your hole, and that's it then.
Yeah.
That's probably a negative way of dealing with it. I feel like.
It's probably negative. Probably.
But you could be like, I never want to be in this fucking situation ever again. So I'm going to work my ass off to make sure I'm never in this situation ever again. So like, I remember when I first started in the industry that I'm in, I made like $8.20 an hour, and I couldn't afford to pay my rent, / eat and all these other things. And I also had a truck at the time that I was making payments on because I was in a different line of work prior to that, which afforded me the ability to own a truck and make payments.
Right.
And eventually I just couldn't pay my bills, and got evicted, and like packed up all my worldly possessions into my truck, and, you know, spent a couple nights in there, and, you know, crashed on some couches, and, you know, drove back and forth between my parents' place and my work, and it sucked. And I could have been like, fuck this, I fucking quit, fuck everything, I'm just gonna start over again. The opportunity was there. My parents would have taken me in and let me live rent free for however long until I got back on my feet. But I said to myself, no, I never want to be in this position ever again. So I'm going to work my ass off so I can, you know, get a full-time job, because I was only casual at the time. And then it was, I'm going to work my ass off so I can get a promotion. And then it was, I'm going to work my ass off so I can get another promotion, and another promotion, and another promotion. And now, you know, I've got about 500 employees that work under me in Nova Scotia, 250 that I'm responsible for assisting in Newfoundland, and another 100 or so in PEI. I travel across Canada and the United States, you know, doing consulting and that sort of thing, and doing that on a high school education and a community college certificate that certifies me to do nothing, because I took what I had and I made the best of a really shitty situation.
Whoa. How come we didn't cover this in the first podcast?
I don't know.
Maybe I didn't give you the opportunity.
Never came up.
Okay.
You know, I think we had a pretty good flowing conversation.
We did.
You know, and that's kind of, I mean, like there was obviously other things that happened and other like hardships and positive things and other things in my life that shaped my course. And most of the ones that I can think back of that shaped my course were the shitty ones. Like going back to what we talked about before when we first started talking about resilience and how the bad times in our lives are more responsible for making us who we are than any good day. Like every like pivot point that I can look back on when I thought I was down and out and it was the worst thing that could ever happen to me, that I'd never be able to crawl out of this rut, is the best thing that's ever happened to me looking back. I think that's resilience, and I think that's how you build resilience.
Okay, I think that's it. Optimistically Depressed is now done. We
Okay,
figured it out. I'm done.
Just cut it off there.
We found the answer.
Yeah.
Oh, I really like that.
Thanks. I guess. I don't know.
What do you think made it so you had that voice that said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to give up.
Stubborn. I'm super stubborn, especially when somebody tells me I should do something.
Should.
Like I love my old man.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'll ever listen to this, but my mom probably will. So I love you, Dad. But he told me that I should quit. You know, in his mind, he was right. And you know what? Rationally thinking, given what he knew about my job and what most people would consider to know about my job and growth opportunities within it, which they're typically fairly slim, it would be like betting everything on a roulette spin instead of like, just so it's like I don't know how many numbers there are on roulette, but you know, probably, I don't know, 30, something like that. And then there's black and white and odd and even. But if you just bet it on one number and spin, that's probably the chances of actually making it in this industry to a position where you're, you know, can live fairly comfortably. So he was thinking quite rationally, but he told me I should quit. And the second time when he tells me I should do something, I'm like, go fuck yourself. I'm going to make it work. And yeah.
So that worked to your benefit.
The greatest advice he ever gave me was one that I didn't listen to.
What?
Yeah. Well, maybe not the greatest advice. He gave me a lot of good advice over the years, but it's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the most life-changing advice he ever gave you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Advice you didn't take.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you always have to make it. The best thing, and this is the one that always sticks with me, the best thing he ever said to me, because like I know he had, you know, he struggled through work and shit growing up, or not growing up, like raising us. And I remember like when I was old enough to actually have that conversation with him, and I'd be like, "Are you going to be okay?" He's like, "Boy, there's one thing about me, I always land on my feet." He's like a cat, right? He's definitely not the size of a cat. He's much bigger, but
thanks for clarifying.
Yeah.
I was just imagining him perched on your shoulder.
Right? Oh,
yeah.
Always land on your feet. Like there's always a way, you know, out. As bad as it can be when, you know, all this stuff's going on around you and you feel like your world's falling apart, you can always land on your feet. And if you can land on your feet, you can claw out. Like that's crazy, stupid analogies and stuff, but like it makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like, I guess a drive, like a not give up drive, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that was kind of instilled in me when I was younger.
I really, I also really like that. I've been able to talk with a few people who have found themselves to, have found their way to a life that they really enjoy. And one of the things that every one of them has said is that you just don't give up.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it would feel so good to give up sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? You know, it's like, sometimes I think about it all the time. I just want to throw my hands up in the air and quit and just forget about everything.
Yeah.
But what kind of life satisfaction would I have? Right? Like, how would I feel about myself when I looked in the mirror? Would I be okay with that version of myself? I don't think so. doesn't mean I'm okay with the version of this myself that I see in the mirror every day today. Not always, right? But I know that if I just gave up, that I would not be able to look at myself and have any self-respect.
Huh.
Yeah. Maybe that's a bad thing too.
I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. It could be.
It's like acknowledging the fact that you're the only one that ever has to like, that you're stuck with you.
Well, that's it, right? There's a great poem. And this is another thing that kind of always stuck with me as a poem. It's called The Man in the Glass, right? Have you ever heard that one?
I feel like maybe you've told it to me before.
Have told you about
Tell
it.
me again.
I can't recall the exact way the poem goes, but it talks about like how, you know, you can fool everybody else and, you know, you can get pats on the back as you go through your life and everything. But if you cheat yourself, then you've cheated, or you're cheating the man in the glass. Who is you? It's like an analogy or whatever.
Yeah.
And that is like, you can't cheat yourself. You can't, because you're the only one that's left at the end of the day. Like, as much as you love your family and I love my family and, you know, the people around me and, you know, we all eventually die alone. You know, you might be surrounded by family, but when the lights go out, you're the only one that's left. And you got to be okay with that and how you lived your life.
Yeah. You're right. Like, I've thought about that. I've been thinking about death more lately.
Yeah.
I think we all kind of go through seasons where we think about it.
Oh, yeah.
And now whenever I think about death, I think about how, like, so I was with my grandmother as she died, and there was quite a few of us there. And it was weird because, like, it was like we wanted to be there to assist her as much as we could.
Yeah.
But that was a journey she was taking alone.
Yeah. But death is inevitable, right? We all got to go. We all got to go sometime.
Ugh, yeah.
So if you die tomorrow, do you want to have regrets for today? If you didn't have tomorrow, what if it wasn't there? Would you be okay with how you spent today?
Oh.
I mean, not exactly this exact day, but like that's kind of like
That's a
way to look at it.
Yeah. Because the other thing that I've started to realize about myself is that, you know, like you can get used to living in survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's always instant gratification.
Yeah.
You don't treat your life like it's an investment.
Right.
And so then it's kind of like trying to find that balance, because you want to appreciate today as if tomorrow may not come. But you also want to invest.
Plan for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you want to also invest in today so that tomorrow can be brighter.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a balance.
Yeah.
It's like the kind of lizard brain kind of, you're fighting with that all the time. That's that instant gratification piece.
Yeah.
It always wants, it's like a now thing. And we're in a now society too.
Yeah.
So it makes it even harder.
It does. Yeah.
Tap this credit card, drive through, instant one click buy on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
It's all there.
It's all right there.
Yeah. So we're fighting it every day.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like you're doing that fight and you're just kind of like this morning, I was dealing with one of the kids. They have, one of my kids has like some pretty serious anxiety, and it's been worse over the last few weeks. And so this morning I was, I had that point like this morning where I was like, I don't think I have it in me anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, I think I'm done now. And it was one of those things that was like, I needed to say it,
Mm-hmm.
but I also knew it wasn't true.
Right.
Because it was like, yeah, I need to say this right now. I don't think I have it in me anymore. And then there was that voice at the same time in my head saying, you know, you still have it. And it doesn't matter if you can't do it anymore. You're gonna.
Fucking got it.
Like,
Rocky music playing in the background. Dun, 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 dun.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, obviously, like, this is not a situation I can walk away from.
No, you're in it.
I'm in it.
You're in it. You can be like, all right, you're on your own, kids. See you later.
See you later. Good luck. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. you know, you like also listen to a lot of people who've like achieved some serious stuff, you know, really either like, you know, mentally challenging, physically challenging.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, I quit in my mind a million times.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes it's like, it's just kind of necessary. You have to just be like, you know what? No, done. Just so that the other voice has an opportunity in your mind to be like, no, you're not. And you know it.
Yeah. No, listen, the amount of times I've like been at work, you know, and it's not comparable to raising children by any stretch, but I've been at work and I've just been so unbelievably frustrated with everything. And I threw my hands up and I just like go outside, not light a cigarette, not healthy, not endorsing, light a cigarette and be like, fuck, just drive away. Fuck this. I'm done. No, this is it. I'm done this cigarette and then I'm just driving away. And I'm like, I'll finish the cigarette and I'm like, all right, let's go fuck this up. Go back in. And got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Got to do it.
You got to do
like,
it.
Running even, like I don't even run that often. I went running with my girlfriend back in like the spring.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, that happened. It was at one time and we were going and like I think it was only like 7K or something like that.
That's 7K that's like
it was a slow
that's
run.
A run.
Like I'm not Usain Bolt and I'm not a marathoner. It's a slow run. But like my legs were cramping. I just wanted to like be like, oh Jesus, I just want to fucking quit. But then I'm like, nope, you don't quit. And you're like, you know, I'm fucking quitting. And you're like, nope, you just got one block, and then you've only got like 6 blocks left. And you're like. Well, yeah, it's like I was just breaking down the blocks, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It would have been so easy to stop. And just be like, fucking, I'm walking. Where's my cigarettes?
Where are my cigarettes? Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I remember when I was in high school, I was playing football and like, I basically, I couldn't see at one point during like summer training camp before the fall season. Like we were running, I was so hot. Pretty sure I was dehydrated. I don't know if I ate enough. And like my vision just started closing in around my eyes, and like we were standing like and we're stretching out and stuff, and like everything was just I couldn't see. And like
what?
I was just like, I'm gonna fake this until I make it, and I just kept going until we finally got a water break, and I ran over and I sat down and like eventually drank some water, and like my vision started coming back, but.
Oh my gosh!
It would have been too embarrassing for me. Like these guys are gonna think I'm a wuss.
What?
Yeah.
Well, like, okay, let's talk about that.
Okay, go ahead.
Because there's the other thing that kind of goes around when people are like, you need to know when to quit.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
What stopped you from? Like your health was at risk.
Oh, I didn't know that. I wasn't that smart back then.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Oh, well, I don't know if there's been a situation like that in my adult life. Like I've definitely like broken bones and stuff in my adult life, but that's not like you can't see. But like I just like I was scared. For sure, I was like, what if this doesn't go away? But I don't know. I could see like a little light in the very center. I was like, oh, I got that. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's so many directions that we could really go in.
I don't know. I was like, what, 15? How old are you when you're in high school? 15, 16?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know any better.
Right. Yeah.
It's stupid.
Okay. So then we could focus then on what it speaks to your character.
Yeah, it was just stupid.
All right. I find it interesting that you said you could only see a little bit in the center. You're like, well, I got that.
I got that. You got that, right?
I got that.
Just
So
like a
that's
little
good enough.
sliver,
I'll
just a little
just-
bit of hope.
yeah.
But at the end of the tunnel, I'm not completely blind yet.
Not completely blind.
Yeah, the only other time I thought I was blind is when I woke up. I was been like 7 years old. The only reason I remember this is because I literally thought I was blind. It was traumatizing. I definitely had pink eye, and my eyes had just like crusted shut. And I like, woke up. I remember screaming. It's like I can't see.
That would be alarming.
Terrifying.
Yeah, that would be so terrifying.
I
Yeah.
was ready to quit then.
Yeah. I can't. Well, if I, yeah. I wouldn't even blame you. All right.
Yeah,
I think maybe we've reached
that's probably it then.
Yeah.
Is that it then?
but we're going to have another one.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to.
Tom,
Ruth,
it's always really nice talking with you.
nice talking to you too.
And I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say this, put it on the record. There was a little incident that we had a few months ago
Oh yeah,
that made me feel like a little uncomfortable, like perhaps my safety was a little bit of
Right.
and it could be an issue.
yeah.
Tom came through and was just like, no, I'm on top of it.
I didn't really do much, but
No, you did. You did.
I appreciate that.
You mentally put me at rest
I'm glad that.
and you gave me good advice.
I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah. So, just I want to acknowledge for everybody listening too, just speak more to Tom's character and voice how much I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on this
Always
again.
a pleasure. When I say always, I mean both these times.
Both these times. Yeah. And everybody who's listening, thank you so much. And just remember that wherever you are, I am sitting here loving you.
Me too.
Bye.